I had to get the magnesium, and that was for 24 hours, and then they wanted to monitor me for another 24 hours.
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. You came right out of the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday, someday. I've been saving you, and you save me too.
Hi guys, it's Jennifer here. Welcome to the video. If you're new here, welcome. If you've already subscribed and have been following me for a while, welcome back. If you've been following me, you knew that I was pregnant with baby number 3, and I'm not anymore. I had him. I had my baby. I had him on March 31st, 2021. I told everyone, my due date was in April. April 8th was my due date. I told everybody I was going to go March. I wasn't going to make it, and I was right. Barely. I'm just going to tell you my birthing story. So, where should I begin? I guess from the beginning, because this was the March 30th was my prenatal appointment. I went to my prenatal appointment, got my blood pressure, and it was high. It had been high before. They did blood work to see if I got pre-eclampsia, which before when I did it, it was fine. Like all the labs were like within normal range. Everything was fine. It was just I had blood pressure, so they didn't really do anything about it. Well, I went back this time, and it was high again. She went to do my doctor went to go talk to another doctor and to see what to do. When she came back, she's like, "You need to go to the hospital now so they can induce you." I'm like, "Well, I was gonna clean my house tonight." I'm really not ready. I thought I had a whole entire week. At least I was ready, but I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I've been ready for the past month to not be pregnant, but I wasn't ready to have another person in my house. But yeah, she was like, "You need to go to the hospital right now." I had my daughter with me. I was like, well, I do have to go pick up my son from school. My son was still in school. And it was actually pretty close to 2. Like, I'm supposed to pick him up at 2:20, and it's about 20 minutes away. So I'm like, I gotta go pick up my son. I gotta go take my daughter home. I was making all these excuses why I couldn't go to the hospital to get induced. And she's like, "No, you need to go. You really, really need to go get induced. Your blood pressure is high. Your feet," my feet got, like, I had elephant feet. They were so swollen. They were humongous. So they were like, "You need to, have this baby today or tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay. If you say so, you're the doctor. You went to medical school, you know more than me." So I was like, okay. But I do gotta go pick up my son. I can't just leave him at school. So I went to go pick up my son, and it was like well after 2. We get home, I call my mom, because my mom is my support person. I call the baby daddy, and I guess I can call him by his name. Anthony. I call Anthony. I'm like, so I'm going to the hospital to get induced. And luckily, because before, my mom wanted to be there, and then Anthony wanted to be there. And I'm like, well, it's a pandemic. Coronavirus is still a thing. And they were only allowing one person in. Luckily. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy they were both able to be there. They were allowing a support person, and that support person can stay with you the entire stay of your hospital stay, which was my mom, because Anthony, he had to work. Anthony and my mom were both able to be there. Anyway, I call Anthony, like, "Look, they're going to induce me, so if you want to be here for for the arrival. You need to come. And so yeah, where was I? I lost my train of thought. I don't have any notes because it's all in my head. I mean, I lived it, so, but I do get distracted from time to time. Anyways, so my mom meets me at my house. My sister's there. I say bye to the kids. I'm like, okay, we take some pictures. Oh my God. The last time we were a family of 3. Or kind of 4 because we have Cora. But 3 humans, as Darren would say. Anyways, we take the last few pictures of us just being a family of 3. And then I go to the hospital. And I drive myself, by the way. I was kind of proud. I was like, I'm driving myself to the hospital to have a baby. Well, I went into labor, so it didn't matter. We get to the hospital, and we go to the birthing center, and they're like, okay, check me. Well, I guess, yeah, check me in. They're like, we're just getting your room ready. I'm like, oh, so I'm not even going to triage or nothing. Like, we are doing this thing. Like, we're having a baby. So, it's starting to get real. I get to my room, and it's amazing. It's like humongous. It's a humongous room. And this is a teaching hospital, so I figured, yeah, they might have a lot of students in the room. Luckily, I put in my birthing plan, I didn't want students to touch me. They can observe all they want, but they are not touching me. But it was a very nice room. And I remember once I got to the room, I started feeling really hungry. I remembered that I did not eat lunch. I ate breakfast. And all I had for breakfast was a Pop-Tart and a donut. I haven't eaten. And the doctor was like, well, we usually don't let people eat when, they're going to go into labor. But go ahead and eat, and then we'll induce you. They hook you up to the baby monitor. So I was having contractions, but they went ahead and induced me. They give me Pitocin, or Pitocin, not Pitocin. Pitocin, which is something, they can put in your IV, and it just speeds up your labor. I actually had it with my first one. I wasn't induced. I went into labor, but it slowed down. But yeah, so I had that with Renee, and the contractions started immediately, like being more consistent. They weren't intense at all. I told them I want an epidural like as soon as I can get it. But I didn't. They told me you don't want it too soon and you don't want it too late. So I'm like, well, when's a good time? I've never been induced. I don't know. Like, I kept asking them, like, can you give me like an estimated time of how long it would take? When should I get my epidural? Because I was so, like, my biggest fear was not getting my epidural in time. Because that's what happened with Darren, my second baby. The epidural did not take, and I felt everything, and it was horrible. And I told myself I was never doing this again. And I had a midwife also. And she told me, whenever you feel this fright. I'm like, I don't know when that is. But they started getting a little more intense after probably about 45 minutes. Slightly. I was studying at the time while I was in labor because I had assignments due. That was another thing. I was like, I'm not ready. I get assignments due tomorrow. I was planning on doing my homework tonight. So I had my computer and still doing my homework while I was in labor. So I was like, are the contractions that bad? I mean, I'm focused on my homework, so I wasn't really focused on the contractions, so I didn't know if that was why. Anyways, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this epidural. And I didn't want the anesthesiologist to be like busy and not be able to come when I wanted him to come. So I was like, let's go ahead and do this epidural. And get it done and over with, because the epidural is probably the worst part. Because, you have to sit perfectly still with a curved back and just have a contraction while you sit perfectly still, while you have a needle going into your spinal cord. So I was like, let's go ahead and get that done. They did it and gave me my button. After that, it was pretty smooth sailing. Like it took pretty fast. My legs got tingly, and I was good. It was smooth sailing from there. Oh, and luckily Anthony finally came. Anthony was there for almost the whole thing. While I'm in labor, they keep turning me from side to side. They'd never done that before. I thought that was a little weird, but they say that it mimics like walking. It'll speed up baby. Near the very end, they say he got stuck, and I could tell. He was stuck. They said he was like looking up and trying to come out. So like, I don't know exactly what he was doing down there. But yeah, it started hurting. It was like, with the contractions, like, it hurt. In retrospect, it was the pressure, but it was painful. So I didn't know what was going on. Finally, they were turning me. Every time I had a contraction, it was like I was pressing that button like a junkie. I'm like, my button isn't working. And they were like, well, it might be time to have the baby. I think I was fighting it. Because I really wasn't ready. And the whole 9 months, I was like, okay, I'm pregnant. And I told myself I wouldn't always be pregnant. Eventually, the baby would come and I would have a baby. But deep down inside, I don't think I was 100%, ready to be a mom of 3. So yeah, okay, back to my story. So they're turning me from side to side while I am in great pain. It is like, I'm like gnawing down. I want to scream, but I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to. But it hurt. They turned me one last time, and they're like, the baby's right there. The baby's head is crowning as they're turning me. So it was pressure. It was pain, but it was pressure. So everybody, it was like a flood. It was a flood of people. The next thing I knew, they're like, okay, you're gonna push. I'm like, I'm gonna push, okay. So I'm like holding my legs. I'm pushing. I pushed 3 times. Like, I vividly remember pushing. I stopped. I pushed again. I stopped. I pushed one more time, and he slid right out. This was the easiest birth that I had. Until the very end, until the pain in the very end, this was the easiest birth that I've ever had. I went into labor at like 7. I had him at 3:59. I don't know why they didn't round that up to 4. We can just round it up to 4. 9 hours. That's 9 hours, right? 9 hours. Shortest labor and delivery ever. And my camera is about to die. So let me change my battery and I will be back. Okay, fresh battery. And I know this is my birthing story, but it's gonna be a mukbang because mom's gonna eat. Wrap it up while I eat, because the baby is waking up. And of course, y'all want to see the baby. I don't know if I can do this, talk and eat at the same time. I'm gonna try. So, the timing of this, sorry. I am breastfeeding, so he makes noise and then my milk starts to flow. And you can actually feel that, by the way. So the timing of this birth was perfect. Even though I wasn't ready, he came really fast, really easy. Pushed 3 times, and he was 6 pounds, 10.5 ounces. Everybody, the whole pregnancy, are you having twins? Are you sure there's just one in there? No. I was full of fluid. And I don't know if this is normal, but the placenta was like twice the size of him. So I was mostly placenta and fluid. And then when he came out, it scared me because they're like, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. of hemorrhaging. You know. But I didn't. I'm still alive. But overall, it's a very, very pleasant experience. And he's waking up. Do you want to meet my baby? Drum roll, please. Oh, oh, that was a wrinkly face. And he is a wiggle worm. He was a wiggle worm when he was on the inside. And he's still a wiggle worm. But here we go. Let's do like a Lion King presentation. I made this. He's not happy because he's hungry. Silas, are you going to open your eyes? Aww. So this is Silas Alexander Stiers. And he's actually above his birth weight now, finally. My milk took forever. Hold on one second. Alrighty. Okay, so he's happy. Yay. I wanted to make a breastfeeding video because we've actually had trouble breastfeeding. My milk didn't come in when I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 4 days because of my blood pressure. And my milk, I went home that Friday. My milk didn't come in until that Sunday. So I took him to the doctor Monday, and his weight, he lost almost a pound. Like, he was 5'11" when I took him to the doctor. So they gave me some formula. I gave him 1 bottle of formula. I didn't want to. I cried so hard. Just to get his weight up a little bit. And his weight did go up. We have been having trouble latching on. He's doing great now. But if you want me to go more into detail into that, I can make a separate video. On that, just leave a comment if you would like me to do that. Oh my god, I could just sit here all day. Like, he is adorable. I love him so much. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Put the notification bell on. And we'll see you next time. We can't reach it. Hey, Renee!